People, including Rush Limbaugh, fight drug addiction. But could the answer lie in an African root? Some former drug addicts swear by it. Others warn that it's just too dangerous. In tonight's special assignment, we explore this root of hope. It is worshipped as a magical shrub, used as a spiritual guide. But could this plant, found in the jungles of Africa, offer hope to countless drug addicts?
Heroin, cocaine. I used to do LSD when I was a child. But
at age 40, Barbara spends her whole life planning her next fix. You feel good about yourself when you're on heroin?
Mm-hmm. Nothing matters. Nothing hurts.
Nothing hurts in the fog of heroin. But in the clear moments of sobriety, she admits she wants to start over.
I can't keep just doing heroin. I've got to try whatever I can to stop.
Barbara is in Vancouver for an experimental drug treatment.
Within hours, they will have no feeling of addiction or craving or anything like that at all.
Inside of this apartment, Mark Emery says he can treat everything from Vicodin to Oxycontin to alcohol and heroin addiction. His medication comes from the Ibogaine plant in Africa. Supporters say one dose reprograms the addict's brain to a pre-addictive state and blocks withdrawal.
Well, I hope it works.
We'll see how the Ibogaine treatment goes for Barbara, but first meet Greg Douglas. The song Fire and Fog is more beautiful than anyone can imagine. He wrote it after kicking a 30-year-long drug habit.
Everything on the surface was okay, until at one point I started to make a lot of money.
Greg had become a rock star. He was in the Steve Miller Band and wrote the hit single Jungle Love. He was at the height of his career when the beast of heroin took it all.
I went from making 6 figures a year to basically being homeless. I was kicked out of the band. I got a divorce and just basically lost everything.
For decades, he had struggled between methadone and heroin. But a trip to the Ibogaine Association in Rosarito changed everything.
And my withdrawal symptoms disappeared within a half an hour. Suddenly, after 30 years, I had no desire to use.
Ibogaine is illegal in the United States, but Dr. Deborah Mash is working to change that.
It's highly effective for detoxing individuals from opiates. It diminishes the desire to use drugs and alcohol.
In the mid-90s, Dr. Mash received FDA approval to test Ibogaine on humans. She ran out of funding, so she took her clinical trials to the Caribbean.
We've had an opportunity to evaluate 280 treatment episodes.
Ibogaine is being received with a lot of enthusiasm outside of the United States. But many doctors, some right here in Los Angeles, say it's just too dangerous.
Basically what's out there are some uncontrolled trials, meaning there's no placebo, there's no random assignment.
UCLA's Dr. Steve Shoptaw is a critic of Ibogaine. Funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, Dr. Shoptaw develops medication for drug addiction.
Some addicts will die from addiction. They shouldn't have to face the risk of dying for treatment for their addiction.
Ibogaine can cause a rapid heartbeat. A few people have died after taking it. It also induces hallucinations and nausea. But Barbara is desperate. Her need for heroin is so great, she sells herself on the streets to buy it.
And you do realize that there is no doctor present and that people have actually died while going through this process.
The Ibogaine is a lot less dangerous than some of the other things I've done.
It's been nearly 24 hours since she used heroin and crack, and the signs of withdrawal, sweating, yawning, and watery eyes are beginning to show. At 8 p.m., Barbara takes a test dose of Ibogaine. Her vital signs are fine, so at 10:40, she takes the full amount. If the Ibogaine doesn't work, her withdrawal will become extremely painful. We check back with Barbara an hour later.
Are you wishing you had heroin right now?
No.
The psychedelic effects from the Ibogaine are beginning to take effect.
I see the light mainly, and it's moving and wiggling, turning around.
1 hour later, we return. Barbara tells us she is relaxed and content.
I would be going through really excruciating nausea right now if it wasn't for the Ibogaine.
12 hours later, in the afternoon, we visit Barbara again.
We don't know if we can all survive it. Everything will be built and then changed and then built again.
The hallucinations are coming on strong. Hallucinations that some say help the addict gain insight into their addiction. It's been 36 hours since Barbara has done heroin. Again, no withdrawal pains.
It's not really pain, it's nausea.
Barbara will stay in the Iboga house for several more days. It is her second time here. After her first treatment, she stayed clean for 2.5 months. I asked Barbara why she thought this time would be different.
I've got more experience now with it. I've found the mistakes that I made, and I can avoid those mistakes doing those ones again.
It's been 1 month since Barbara took the Ibogaine. We spoke to her on Friday. She says she's stayed clean since her treatment, and it feels wonderful to wake up in the morning and not worry about how she's going to get her next fix.